It's time for Did You Watch It?
How does this show work? We watch what we like, we talk about what we watched, and maybe you'll like what you hear. I'm Liz.
And I'm Neil. Last night we watched episode 9 of The Bachelor season 18. The show aired on Tuesday, February 25th, 2014. Here's what we thought about it. I was getting ready to watch this episode.
Yeah?
And I stopped into Facebook just to do a quick check when I got home.
Yeah?
So a good friend of ours had posted a link to an article entitled, "Everything You Thought You Knew About the Clitoris is Probably Wrong."
What?
Okay, so I said to myself, damn, what did I miss? And so I clicked the link. I got to the article, and before I could actually start reading it, I saw a headline up at the top of the page that was entitled, "Andy Dorfman Just Exposed the True Reality of The Bachelor."
Yeah.
So, without thinking, I clicked it, completely forgetting that I'm about to watch the episode.
Oh my gosh, you didn't!
Okay, so
spoiler alert.
Yeah, so it loaded, but fortunately I could only see the headline. I couldn't see any of the text below.
Okay.
So what I did was I took the link from the browser and I dragged it to the desktop so I could save it for later.
Okay, maybe we can read it together when we're done.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. You notice I have a very sober tone this evening.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And what is there a reason for your sober tone?
There is good reason, and
Okay.
we'll get into it. So let's just start from the top, and let's go into the episode as it occurred. And
But of course.
yeah,
But of course.
we'll get there.
Yes. So we start with Claire.
Yes, we certainly
and her
did.
presence on St. Lucia.
Yes, and St. Lucia was beautiful, by the way.
Yes, it was.
Gorgeous. Loved it.
Yes. So she wants her serious one-on-one time with Juan Pablo.
Yes.
And the cameraman, and the director, and the sound engineer, and the key grip, and the best boy, and the boom mic guy.
And craft services.
And craft services.
As we talked about. Yeah.
Right. So they talked about the hometown visit. Talked
Yes,
about
all
the family.
of that.
Yes. Laura and I aren't that far apart as far as our assessment of this whole process, I realize.
I would tend to agree with you.
Yeah.
Especially after seeing this episode.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Last night I was not a Laura fan, because
Yes.
I just thought it was over the top. And I
Yes,
still
it
don't know
was.
if I'm a Laura fan, but I just have a completely different perspective tonight than I did last night.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, first of all,
go ahead.
To kind of just sum up what I thought about just the first few moments of the show.
Sure.
Okay, and you don't know this because you haven't watched the show before, but Juan Pablo is the first Bachelor to actually say on camera, "We're going to be together all night."
Oh.
And so no other Bachelor before has ever really talked about the fantasy suite or the fantasy suite card or the option to spend the night together until Juan Pablo.
Really?
Yes. So first of all, it was kind of, and I know it's dumb, all right, I get it. I know it's dumb because we all know what's going to happen, but there's just something about the way that it plays out in the show. It's kind of, you have this great day together, you get to spend all this time, and it's just you, there's nobody, there's no other girls around or whatever, and you get to really have some conversation and hours together. And then it leads up to dinner, and then at this certain point in the evening, he brings out this card. He doesn't even say what the card is usually about, but
interesting.
The Bachelor kind of brings out the card, and then the girl reads it, and then typically he says, what do you think about it, or whatever, and she then kind of gives an answer. So, first of all, I just thought it was incredibly arrogant that he talked about it, first off, and then, when he was talking to Claire, it was like he completely took it for granted. He said to her, he actually said, well, we have all day and all night. And she was like, I'm sure it threw her off because nobody's ever really said that, or they've never showed that on camera before.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was not feeling anything he said this week. All right, so let's talk about Claire's date. So they debriefed the hometown.
Yeah, so note to Claire. They were sitting and discussing about what kind of step-parent she was going to be, and that she was looking forward to having a sit-down with Camila.
Yeah.
And, I'm speaking from first-hand experience, okay? I've done it twice. The best, easiest, and fastest way to be accepted as a step-parent is to not try to be a step-parent.
Exactly. It's to just let it happen. Oh, wait, I'm going to use the word organically. It's just to let it happen organically.
Very good, very good. Yeah, you don't even have to be the child's friend. You know? They're way more on the ball and way more adept at reading people than adults give them credit for being.
Oh, totally. From a very young age.
The thing that I've always tried to do when presented with that situation, I have to focus on the woman that I'm involved with, who is their mother. Because I can't try to win their approval ignore her.
Yeah.
I couldn't walk in and just say, oh, well, you know, I'm going to be like your stepfather now, and these are the way that things... You have to earn that.
Yeah. Well, and kids are so perceptive, like you said, too. You know, you just show up and you just let it happen.
Because really the only people who you are going to identify yourself as a step-parent to are all like his friends and her friends and the adults that you deal with. Because when it comes right down to it, if you get to that point and if you do all the work, to the kids, you're going to be a parent, not a step-parent.
Yeah, exactly. I just felt like he was just lecherous. He was staring at her boobs in that dress. He was kind of leering at her. It just made me totally uncomfortable.
Okay.
As a spectator, I can't imagine how she felt, but she was so giddy about him that I don't know if she even really... Well, she did catch it because she was like putting her hand over his eyes and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I was not feeling that behavior at all.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's kind of a sober evening at my house.
When they finally got to the fantasy suite, I only had one question in my head. It's like, when do we get to leave him alone?
Right? I know.
I really want to be someplace else right now.
Well, and the whole thing is because he was talking about it so much, which, like I said, nobody's ever really done, that's what you were waiting for. You were waiting for them to be left alone. But typically, that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? You're just kind of going along with them. You see the suite. It's usually just beautiful. And they show like some really intimate conversation and some kissing and whatever. And then they say goodbye and the door closes. But because he had talked about it all day, I don't know, it just set it up weird. Yeah, I didn't like it.
Okay.
Yeah, it came off as arrogant and kind of taking whoever the girl was for that date for granted. Yeah, it wasn't special. It wasn't anything about the girl. It was just, oh, I get to spend the night with all of them. I don't know. It just...
So they basically showed you the man behind the curtain.
Exactly, and it pissed me off.
Okay.
I'm just going to tell you flat out because...
No, you go right ahead. I guess I'm fortunate that I don't have the history and I'm seeing it for the first time, and I don't have the same reaction that you do.
I know.
But my expectations are much, much lower.
I know. I'm just uber disappointed. And yes, I said uber.
Yeah.
I'm just so disappointed. I'm
sorry.
Don't be sorry. Then we get to Andy.
I don't know what she was wearing.
Which time? The red dress or the...
That red dress, yeah.
Okay,
that red, Was it a dress or was it just a really long t-shirt?
Well, it kind of was... It wasn't as bad as Nikki's shirt dress.
We're going to get to Nikki. I got a whole segment for Nikki.
Remember back in the first couple of episodes when Nikki showed up in that dress that barely covered her?
Yeah.
Andy's was at least a little longer than that. So, yeah. Anyway.
I didn't necessarily have a problem with what Andy was wearing on the basis of what it revealed.
Yeah.
I just thought it looked strange.
It was just very boxy. Yeah.
Okay, it was like, you're wearing this because you got something that looks a little bit better under it, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. Not figure flattering at all.
No.
Definitely not.
That wasn't an A-frame, that was a lowercase n.
You know, I did love their date, though. I thought it was really cute with the kids and, you know, how...
Thing is that when Andy talks to kids, she just doesn't look right.
It does look kind of forced.
Yeah, it's like,
it does.
It's almost like they were speaking German or something, and she's just like, look, I'm sorry, I don't understand you.
Yeah, I know.
And also, I noticed that she plays soccer like she dances.
Which is not very well at all.
I mean, it's like the way she was moving, and she could have been wearing 4-inch heels in the dirt kicking the ball. And if the camera never went to her feet, I'd never be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, I hear you.
That's how stiff she's. She don't bend.
I gotta tell you, though, in this episode, Andy is my new hero. Yeah. All right.
Man. I knew there was trouble when they were sitting in the love seat and she asked him the question about whether he thought that she would be a good mother.
Okay, so are you talking about when they were by the waterfall, or...
I think this was a little bit later.
A little bit later, okay.
This is a little bit later, because I'm tired of them in waterfalls, personally.
I know, but can I just make a comment about that?
Absolutely.
I loved the fact that they were really talking on this date, because I think it's the first time they've really actually showed them interacting and actually having a dialogue, which I thought was cute. And she just seems so hopeful at the waterfall, you know, when they were talking. And it just got a little more real when they were at the dinner. And this is where I do think the language barrier comes in a little bit.
Okay.
Because I don't know if she really meant, I really badly want to fall in love, as if she's forcing herself to fall in love.
Right.
I think she was just in the place where she wasn't sure about her feelings all the way.
Yeah, you know what? The language barrier went both ways.
Right? Yeah. I think it did.
Because I heard Juan Pablo, and most of the stuff that he was talking with was English.
Yeah.
And before the fantasy suite,
yeah,
she was holding her own as far as English was concerned. But after the fantasy suite, she went into some dialect that I have yet to recognize and still don't understand to this day.
It just was interesting. I liked the date until things started to derail.
Yeah, yeah, which is...
Gee, you think,
of course.
Liz?
Of course.
You think? Yeah.
You know, see, but the thing is, I thought that things were derailing on the love seat when Andy asked Juan Pablo if he thought she would be a good mother.
Oh, I know. And he said, do I trust you 100% with my daughter? No. I mean, it was just crazy.
Right. I can just visualize the car rolling down the hill and the brakes don't work and the doors and windows won't open and you're heading for the cliff and you just get to that point where you see over the cliff and it's nothing but jagged rocks and you think to yourself, this ride ain't gonna end well.
Right? Yeah, totally.
That's where I was with that question, and it just kind of perpetuated all through their little thing, and then in the morning it was like, oh my gracious.
Yeah, it was over. When she was saying that he had no filter, and when he was talking about Claire's overnight, you know, to her.
Yes, yes.
Who does that?
Okay,
I mean,
that was stupid.
But see, no Bachelor has done that.
Okay, that we know of.
Well, that we know of. It's not been put on camera before. And I gotta say, somebody like Sean would never have brought that up, because he's a classy guy.
Okay.
You know, so I'm just saying, it was such a stark contrast from last season to this season.
Yeah.
Seeing all of this stuff come out and him just feel like it was no big deal to him. And
well, what were the ratings like last season?
Oh my gosh, they were great.
Were they?
Yeah.
So then why did they detract so far?
I don't know. I don't have an answer for you.
All I know is that speech that she gave while she was standing on the balcony and that whole little diatribe that she made. Okay. That she made Charlene look like a freaking genius. Okay?
Okay. You need to elaborate on that.
All right. Because Charlene went along with the flow, and sometimes she even got swept up in it, but she always questioned it, and she never really fully bought into it.
Yeah.
Andy did the same thing, but once Charlene left, oh man, she just drank the Kool-Aid, and she was in.
She was in.
She figured, ooh, the competition is gone.
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And especially after she went home. Because Hyde figured it out in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, he did.
Okay? So how many girls were left after that one? And then how many girls were left after that? You started with 27 women, and Andy didn't get a one-on-one until it got down to single digits?
Yeah.
Come on, Andy, get it together.
It's true. Okay, I want to finish up with Andy's overnight. The whole, name-dropping thing, and that he only talked about himself. Note to any guy on the planet, it's about sharing stories with each other, right? You want to hear about each other. So, yeah, sure, the guy's going to share stories about himself, but yeah, he's also going to ask the girl about herself too, because how do you get to know somebody if you don't talk to them and ask them questions?
This is true.
So the fact that she said that, it just, I mean, as the episode progressed, I just felt less and less respect for Juan Pablo. Not that I was like all about him. He's just not my cup of tea, but
okay.
I love this show so much. I wanted to see this season and see what happened.
We're going to move forward, and I'm going to give you my assessment about these wonderful ladies. And so we get to Nikki's date.
Nikki's date. Loved the outfit, by the way.
Oh, you know what? She couldn't find a bikini top with a deeper plunge.
That left nothing to the imagination. Absolutely nothing.
You know that she went to the store and she bought a top that was 1.5 cup sizes too big. The ties that braided like ponytails. Cause there's so much room left.
Yeah.
Come on now.
It's just, yeah.
But all I gotta say is, welcome back, Insecure Nikki.
Well, of course.
You've been missed.
Yeah, we did miss Insecure Nikki because she was back in rare form. So she wears this top and he's completely staring at her boobs the entire date.
What is he supposed to do?
I don't know. But it's just...
If you don't want the man looking at him, cover the some bitches up.
But seriously, girls, really? Is that really what we want? Do we want just to be ogled like that? I get you have a cute bathing suit. Does it have to be just everywhere?
Note to Juan Pablo.
Yeah.
While you're riding horses on the island of St. Lucia, if you have to tell someone that this is real life, it's not real life. Okay? It's not real life.
You are so right. We're pretty fired up tonight.
Yeah, we are. Because we're frustrated.
We are. Okay.
We are frustrated.
And talking a little more about Nikki's bathing suit.
Oh, okay. See, national television, Nikki.
Can you say Photoshop? Because there was something funky about that bikini bottom.
Okay, beige top, red panties.
Not only that, but I don't think that was really her bikini bottom, because if you look at it closely, that was totally like a photoshopped brief. I think she must have had a thong on or something, or...
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't look that close.
Oh, no. I saw it. I was like, what? This is just weird.
Because I don't like her that much.
Yeah, no. It was just so glaringly obvious. Just don't show her if that's the case.
Nice.
Don't Photoshop a...
Because I really thought that she had, like, the red hip hugger thing going on.
No, yeah.
And it's like...
Not so much.
You couldn't bring a suit that matched? I mean, especially if they Photoshopped it, can't they match it? They can match the damn color. Juan Pablo needs Rosetta Stone.
Yeah, he does. Well, I feel bad from that standpoint. He's trying. English is his second language, and I think he does pretty well, but I didn't realize until now how much is lost in translation. Really.
Yeah,
the little nuances.
You have women from all over the country, and the jargon is unique as you go from region to region. The dialects are different. Little phrases that are very well known in one area that it's like people don't know what you're talking about if they're from another area.
Yeah.
So I can't sweat him too bad on that.
No.
Okay.
I get that. I was sympathizing with him tonight on that one point. I felt like he was having a hard time expressing himself, and that was because he couldn't find the words, you know what I mean? From the language standpoint.
Yeah.
That was kind of the only time tonight I had a feeling about him that wasn't completely negative. Ooh, you heard it here, Bachelor fans. I can't believe I'm saying it.
He had his little powwow with Chris Harrison.
Yes.
I don't know if we necessarily had the language barrier, but...
No, this was bad.
So how do you feel, Juan Pablo? Well, I like these girls very much. No. Maybe I feel good. Maybe I'm losing something in the translation.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Oh, I like these girls.
I feel good.
do like the... Yeah, okay.
I know. What else got me was when he said, do you know what you're going to do? And he said, I have no idea.
Yes.
And he said it so many times, he just came across as totally cavalier. Like, he really didn't care.
I just attribute it to him not being able to make a decision.
Yeah.
Or not wanting necessarily to make a decision.
You know, because he didn't have an opinion. And usually, by this time, the guys don't usually say, I have absolutely no idea. He's been the least invested, I think, in most of the seasons that I've watched, which is completely disappointing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
When you say least invested,
yeah.
What do you mean by least invested?
He seems very nonchalant about it. You don't get this, oh my gosh, I really see something in this person or whatever. It's more like, yeah, she's really cute. She's sexy. You know, we have a good time. I don't know. It just doesn't seem...
So basically what you're saying is he's not a good actor.
No, that's not what I'm saying, Neil, because that's not how I feel about the show. He just seems like it's not important.
Okay.
So I sort of get what Andy was saying tonight.
Okay.
I really do.
And we will get to that in a minute.
Exactly.
Personal videos. I never heard you mention anything about a personal video that...
Yeah, so usually when they get down to the 3, there's a personal message, because out of that 3, he has to pick 2 that he's going to choose from. So...
Okay.
It's the overnight date, it's the day when you spend all your time together, and there's a personal video message as you're making your decision.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
So there were 2 things that were like totally evident to me while watching these videos.
Okay.
All right. The first thing is that the age difference between Nikki and Claire really came out.
Oh, totally.
I like Claire's video because it just presented itself as more mature.
Yeah. And authentic.
Yes.
And I can't believe I'm saying this about Claire.
Which is still frightening.
I can't believe it.
Okay. The second thing that came through for me is when he saw Andy's video, he should have found a boat.
I know. He had no idea from the video.
Found a way to get off that island as soon as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. He had no idea when she walked up.
He had no clue
what that was going to be about.
When I saw all 3 of the dates, I absolutely hate to say and hate to admit
I know what you're going to say.
That from a quality standpoint, Claire's was the most, I can't even find the adjective to describe it, but...
It was the most sincere and it was the most genuine.
Yeah. Genuine. That's the word.
And I just hate the fact that now I'm rooting for Claire.
This is bad.
This is
We're
really
in a very bad
bad
place right now.
We are.
We're in a very bad place.
I think I needed 2 days to recover from this episode before we recorded this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm totally Debbie Downer right now. And I don't even know how to recover.
So now we have to talk about this little chit-chat that Andy wanted to have with Juan Pablo before she decided to make her exit.
Yeah.
She said very clearly that she wasn't interested and she was done. All right, fine and dandy. Okay. This whole segment, this was the assistant district attorney coming out.
Totally. And when he said, she's a lawyer, I can't argue with a lawyer. Of course you can.
Absolutely. I was in her corner. The whole talking about himself, not having any interest in finding out about her.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you right now, I've had this conversation before.
You have?
I've had this conversation, and I'm telling you right now, I was in her corner until she said, it shouldn't just be okay. That's where she lost me. She said her piece. She told him how she felt. She said he wasn't the one for her. He didn't try to argue. He accepted what she said. Non-confrontational. He said, I respect you. But that wasn't enough.
Okay.
Ralphie May talks about the biggest choice that men have to make in their relationships. You can be happy or you can be right.
It's so true.
Okay? Andy had to be right.
Yeah.
And that's where I had the problem with everything that happened after she said it shouldn't just be okay.
But I sort of get what she was trying to articulate in that moment. From her perspective, and I'm just looking at it as a woman, it wasn't necessarily that he was saying the term okay, even though she was focusing on that. It just sounds so bad. It's annoying. It's whatever. She didn't like the fact that he was so complacent about her.
She didn't like the fact that he wasn't into her.
Exactly. No woman.
Well, you know what? It happens.
Well, but no,
it happens to the best of us.
I totally get that, but no woman wants to be with a guy who could take her or leave her. Complacency is the total enemy.
She said her piece, and she could have just got up and walked off and continued with her life. But no, she had to be right.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So basically what she had to do, because I'm telling you, I've had this discussion before, and I have heard a lot of the things that came out of Andy's mouth, I have heard before, and a couple times, I said it before she said it. Because I knew what was coming. So
is that why you're so fired up?
Like I said, I have not been the greatest supporter of Juan Pablo from the very beginning. Okay, but I'm going to tell you right now, he handled that discussion. It was the only way a reasonable thinking person could handle it when you're dealing with somebody that has to be right.
Yeah, no, I get that. I totally get that.
But I can tell you right now, with her ombre hair...
Ombre!
ombre, whatever.
I love
with her
it.
Jacked up hair, I'm telling you, she's going to go back to the office and she's going to have a story.
Yeah, no, she is. Totally.
She's going to absolutely have a story. And she had to have a story. Why? Because she's a 26-year-old assistant district attorney.
Well, I cannot wait till the women tell all.
Oh my gracious. See, now I'm kind of like, because all it is going to be a moan fest.
Well, but it always is a moan fest. That's the thing.
Oh my God.
Is you finally get to see these women expressing themselves in front of a live audience. It's pretty funny. Next week is the Women Tell All.
Yeah.
And we see Charlene come back. There just seems like there's going to be a lot of stuff talked about.
Yeah, of course.
As always.
You know.
Yeah.
So, whatever. Whatever. Maybe she did actually get dumber. That's our time for today. You can follow us on Twitter at @DidTheLetterU.Watch.It. You can also find us at iTunes. Let us know what you think. Thank you for listening.